Hello, teachers, and welcome to Teachers Help Teachers. I'm your host, Esther Yoon, and today I want to talk to you about the 3-read protocol. Have you heard of it? It's a math strategy for word problems. The 3-read protocol helps students understand the story problem. It takes them through that process to dissect the parts of the word problem so that they can attend to the math question. And so I want to talk about or share how to do the 3-read protocol in case you don't know about it or you've never heard of it. So I'll do a demonstration at the end of this video. But before I get into the parts of the 3-read protocol, before I get into what this strategy is, I want to share a few quotes from you, or quotes with you from other educators who use the 3-read protocol for math, okay? The 3-read protocol can be helpful for our students who need a little more thinking about the work the story is asking them to do. Alicia Jackson said this about it. She's a Culver City math coach. She works for Culver City Unified. She's also a cognitive guided instruction facilitator and trainer as well. Lee Kestner, a 4th grade teacher, says about the 3-read protocol, it's helpful in math because it allows the students to think about the question more deeply. If students don't understand the question and what is being asked of them, it is difficult to find a solution. Amanda Campos, who's a 3rd grade teacher and an EL designee, says that she uses the 3-read protocol because it gives her students autonomy over their learning to solve word problems. It's a skill for their toolbox to solve word problems with or without direct guidance. And finally, one last quote from Zarina Macia, a student teacher. I think the 3-read protocol is so effective, especially using it at the lower grade levels, because it allows students to get familiar with word problems as they progress, or rather as they progress through higher levels of math. So thank you, educators, for sharing your insight with me about the 3-read protocol. And so what is it, right? What are the steps, rather? Well, it is something that is modeled. The teacher models the 3-read protocol to the students so that they get familiar with it, and then they internalize it and use it on their own, as Ms. Campos said earlier in that quote. So the student and the teacher, they read the story problem or the word problem together once to then think about and identify what the math story is about. So then they read it the second time to then pull out the important number and units, or the numbers and units, right? And it's important to link the numbers and units to what the story is about. Then you read it the third time again with the students, or the student reads it the third time again, the story problem, right? To then identify the math question, right? What is it that the student has to solve using those relevant numbers and units that are about the math story. So now I'm going to share a demonstration of that. It is specific to a first grade standard, so bear with me if you don't teach first grade, but hopefully you can see the applications to your specific grade level. Here we go. All right, good day to you, students. Today, I want to share a story problem with you. I want you to solve it and turn it into me through Seesaw so that I can give you a grade on it, okay? Let me share my story problem with you. Remember, I want you to solve the mathematical question. We'll go through that, okay, together. And I want you to show me your thinking through models, numbers, or words, okay? All right, let me share my story problem with you. All right, here we go. Kites. Mr. Brown has a kite store at Pier 39. There were 15 kites in the store. He sold 6 kites on Saturday. So what is this story problem about? Mr. Brown, are you sure? No, it's about his what? His kites. Good. I know normally I say to you, write complete sentences and say complete sentences, but this is actually an organizer. I've provided the organizer for you through Seesaw and through your parents' email. So an organizer is just something to help you stay organized, help you remember some important information. So it's okay that you don't write complete sentences, but all that you know, or it's good that you know that the story is about kites. Yeah. So all the important information that you're going to pull out of that story is going to be about kites. Exactly. Let's read it the second time. And this time, let's consider the important numbers that we need to pull out from there, okay? And how do we know it's important? Yeah, it has to do with kites. All right, let's read it again. Kites. Mr. Brown has a kite store at Pier 39. There were 15 kites in the store. He sold 6 kites on Saturday. Good. So, what are the important numbers and units? So what does that number represent, right? So you're right, there was a number 39, but does that have to do with kites? No, right, that's the name of the pier. And is that important to the kites? Not really, right? What was the other number? 15. And what does that mean? 15 what? Yeah, kites. Because he has 15 kites in his store. That's an important number. Yeah. 15 units. What are they? Kites, yeah. And what was the other number? It was 6, right. And why is 6 important? Do you think it's important? Yeah, Mr. Brown sold 6 kites. Yeah, the story's about kites, so that's going to be important. Yep. So 15 kites at his store is important. 6 kites sold is important. Yeah. Let's read it the third time to figure out the math question. Kites. Mr. Brown has a kite store at Pier 39. There were 15 kites in the store. He sold 6 kites on Saturday. So we read it the third time and we need to come up with a question, right? And right away, I'm thinking to link it to what we're learning. I'm going to ask you, how many kites are left at his store? Yeah, how many kites are left at his store? So how many kites are left, right, for him to sell, right? So after he sells 6, how many kites are left? All right, so we set up the problem and you're going to solve it. And you're going to show me your thinking with models, numbers, words to explain your thinking.